Columbus, Ohio against Clemson in the college football playoff to end last season, not Ohio State's best. At home against Oklahoma in Week 2, not Ohio State's best. If the Buckeyes play their best Saturday against Penn State, they'll win. If they look anything like the team they've been the last 5 weeks against far inferior competition, they'll win. The offense as a whole is clicking the best it's been in years, senior center Billy Price said. It's clicking at the right moment. Obviously, an opponent the quality of Penn State will make it more difficult to achieve that. But anyone who watches Ohio State knows what the Buckeyes look like when they're on and what they look like when they're tight and afraid to make mistakes and unsure of themselves. Ohio State loses when an opponent does something to them they don't expect. It loses when there's a fear of taking a chance or two, or when their own strengths are forgotten. Virginia Tech's strange defense in 2014. Bad play calling against Michigan State in 2015. Not using Curtis Samuel enough, coupled with special teams breakdowns, at Penn State last season. A broken offense never truly fixed for Clemson in the Fiesta Bowl. When have you seen an Urban Meyer team go out, look sharp, play tough and smart, and lose to a superior collection of athletes and coaches? Maybe Clemson in the 2013 Orange Bowl, you might say, but don't most teams win when they play their best? Isn't losing almost by definition the result of playing poorly? Good point. But how many times have you seen teams that have played well, with coaches who have praised their players, in losses to Ohio State? I'm out of fingers. Happens a lot. If the Buckeyes play their best, they beat Penn State. They just have to do that. How we've had templates of both, Meyer said. We've had templates when our team played their very best against the best opposition. We've had a few years like that, but obviously the most obvious one was 2014. Same with we've had maybe some last year that would probably fall in the opposite category against the best teams. We didn't play our best. That's leadership, that's toughness, that's coaching, that's power of the unit. Those are all things we've worked so hard from February until now working on. It's funny, it's not. What did you say to the team before the Alabama game a few years ago? I don't care and no one remembers. It's the training that went into that. I know some people call it the process, some people call it whatever it is. It's all true. I call it a culture within a program. And culture is driven by leaders. If you have very strong leaders on the field and very strong leaders in the coaching rooms, you tend to have very great performances against great teams. The 2014 season is, as Meyer said, the season when that happened most often. But instead of the Alabama game in the college football playoff semifinal, the game that stands out for many is the road win at Michigan State. That big win against a great team made everything possible. Michigan State was number 7 and Ohio State number 13 going into that game. Ohio State won 4,937, but the Spartans finished 112 and ranked number 5 in the nation. Great team, and Ohio State hung 568 yards and 7 touchdowns on them. J.T. Barrett threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. How did Barrett do that then? Great week of practice, he said. What's he talking about now? How well the Buckeyes have practiced for weeks. You don't win the game on Saturday, Barrett said. When you think about it, in big games, you don't win that game Saturday. You win that game on Tuesday's practice and Wednesday's practice and Thursday's practice. The practices are over, and Barrett is probably right. Meyer pounds that into the heads of his players. The coach always dismisses the idea of pre-game speeches, but then the team-produced highlight videos are filled with the sounds of screaming coaches pumping up their players. Point taken, though. Talent and preparation is the foundation. At this point in the week, the Buckeyes have to get themselves to the stage where they use everything they've built. The biggest thing for me is making sure your emotions are in check, Price said. Make sure you play the game Saturday. Don't play the game Friday or Thursday. Make sure your mind is still fresh to what they could do and what potentially could happen. Pick up on little cues that can indicate for us and put us in a good position, so we're not surprised by anything. If they're not surprised, the Buckeyes should play well. If they play well,